Hi, it's Wick and Helen from Camino Provisions.
And guess what? Our new shoes came. So we're all cleaned up from our exercise training walk this morning, and we're gonna talk about how to break in your new shoes and some lacing techniques that you might want to stick around for. So stay tuned.
Okay, so the first thing that we do when we get a pair of new shoes is obviously you take them out of the box, and in my case, I am putting new SuperFeet insoles in because they provide so much better support. So the first thing I have to do is pull the paper out of this thing and then pull the insole that came in the shoe out. And they're not glued in or anything, they just are sitting in there loosely. So you see what this looks like compared to a SuperFeet. You can see the SuperFeet has much more support and padding so that when you're walking a long way, it makes a really big difference. And now I'm going to show you how I sized my new SuperFeet to fit perfectly in my new shoes. Okay, so what I've done here is I've put the Merrell insole on top of the SuperFeet insole. And then all I'm doing is tracing on the SuperFeet what I need to cut off with a pen. And so I end up with, as you can see, there's very little to remove on this particular SuperFeet. Sometimes you would have more. I'm just going to cut this off with scissors. And that's all there is to it. So now what I'm doing is putting the SuperFeet into the shoe and being sure that I got it close to right and it fits. And it appears that everything is fine. And so I've ended up with my new shoe with a SuperFeet in it. Okay, well, so it appears that I have cut the SuperFeet properly and inserted them in the shoes. The shoes feel great, and I'm ready to start breaking them in prior to our trip.
Here's my pair. It's always fun to get a new pair of shoes. The ones that we have are actually pretty old. I think they're pre-pandemic, but we've been wearing them so much training in the last couple months. We needed some new ones for the trip, but we're gonna, like Wick said, we're gonna just break them in gradually, not wear them all the time, because we want to keep them new for the Camino that we're gonna walk in just a couple of months. So that what I do, I have my old pair here, and I'm gonna take out my prescription orthotics and put them just right on top of the existing insole. And if you wear prescription orthotics like I do in your shoes, be sure to take those with you when you shop for your Camino shoes. You always want to try on any new shoe with your orthotics to make sure they're going to feel right. Okay, so the first thing I have to do, because I have very narrow feet, it helps me keep the shoes snug on my foot so that I don't get friction and hot spots if I do this special lacing technique. So you see what I'm doing is I took out the lace the way they had it when it came. And I'm creating a couple of little loops here so that I cross over, and now I pull this tight. And when I put my shoe on and get it nice and snugged up on my foot, these little loops that I created add some snugness in the heel around this part of the shoe so that my heel is nice and snug without being tight in the shoe.
Okay, here, what we're showing here is a technique. If you were to have an injury on the mid part of your foot here, either you bruised it somehow or you would have a blister and you don't want any pressure from your shoe in that area, you can see normally you've got the laces going back and forth across the entire length of your foot. Here what we've done is we've skipped along the side and then again made some little loops here and here and then just tied the shoe normally. You see how that looks? And then you just tie it normally, but it takes all the pressure while still keeping the shoe on your foot. It takes all the pressure off this portion of your foot. So again, it's just another technique if you had some discomfort that you can change things around really on a daily basis as you are walking and you start to feel how your feet feel. So we're going to show you two more techniques for lacing your shoes, and these are for people that have wide feet. I have a triple E foot, so I'm a good example of this. On my right foot, this is just for wide feet in general. It takes a lot of the pressure off of the top of your foot. So if you have a wide foot in general, you've noticed what I've done here is I have skipped every other loop here. And what this does is it takes some of the pressure off the top of your foot if you're feeling some tightness. Now, so this would be just a generally wide foot. Okay. The other technique I wanted to show you is if you have a wide forefoot, if most of your width is in the forefoot rather than in the heel, what you do is you skip right here the first loops in order to create more width on the forefront, but then you just go back to the normal crisscross. And so you can make it nice and tight on your foot and your heel while taking the pressure off of your forefoot.
One more technique to show you, and this is to keep your foot snug in your shoe or boot. If you're having trouble with your laces slipping, and I'll show you the surgeon's knot. To do a surgeon's knot, you would snug up your laces, take all the slack out, and instead of just wrapping once like you would to tie your shoe, you're going to wrap twice and pull that down snug and then tie your bow. And my feet are so narrow, I always have to do a double bow just to take up some of the excess length. And that keeps a very secure lacing. So we hope that these lacing tips will help you as you try to get the perfect fit for your Camino shoes. It's so important because without a good fit on your shoes, you can run into injury problems.
Yes.
What we have found works well is to take breaks. When we take breaks for water or snacks, is take our shoes off, maybe change our socks to dry socks, and also relace or readjust our shoes and the laces to fit our feet the way they are then, because as you walk the distances on the Camino that you walk, your feet do swell and change throughout the day. So you'll want to adjust the lacing, and you'll want to try all these techniques before you even go to the Camino. But these are some really good tools to have in your sort of in your pocket if you do need them. And anyway, we hope that you've gotten something out of this video, and if there's some other questions you have, please put them in the comments below. We will be glad to give you our ideas on answering your questions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we would love it if you would. And if you hit that little bell, then you'll be notified when a new video is posted and you won't miss a thing. So thanks so much for watching today, and we'll say now, Buen Camino.